सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमामस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यानस्मद्गुरुं सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। यत्साक्षात् सच्चिदानन्दं प्रत्यगद्वयमक्रियं तन्नं योगिगम्यं परं पदं खानिराज्ञप्तिरित्रं स्रक्फणीमुद्गतं यथा ध्वान्तच्छिदे नमस्तस्मै हरये बुद्धिसाक्षिणे भ्यो नमः। 27th verse said, Drashtruttvena upayuktatvat tadaiva syanna drishyata kalantere che drishyatvam nahyad drishtru kamishyate. Kartru karma virodha. If one is a drashta, one cannot become drishya. If one is a drishya, one cannot become drashta. Atma is always a subject, never an object. If at all it is one of the two, subject or object, it is always the subject. So it will never become drishya. So you see here it is mentioned drashtruttvena upayuktatvat. Atma has already been consumed as subject. Then at that very moment, tadaeva drishyatana syat tasya atmana. That Atma cannot become drishyana object. Kalantare, and if you say let it be subject once and then object at another moment, then that is also not possible, because when it has become an object, if at all, in the second moment, then it will not be drashta, not be a subject, and that kind of a adrashtrukam drishyatvam naishyate. Nobody accepts this kind of an object without any subject. So object without subject is not possible. That is the idea we saw in 27th verse. Further, 28th verse is introduced by saying, Mamatva yatna ichhadinam iva aham pratyasya atmadharvatvam adhyasat. There is a tippana on this which says, Mamatva ichhadinam anatma dharmanam. So here see, Mamatva yatna ichhadinam iva aham pratyasya atmadharmatvam adhyasat. This is the Siddhanti's perspective. Purva Pakshi says, what is this? Mamatva yatna ichha. What was mentioned there in the shloka? Mamatva yatna ichha. It started with ahamtva. So ahamtva, mamatva, yatna and ichha. And adi. Adipatina, all those dharmas which are there in the antakarana, which are generally accepted by Vedanti and many others also as antakarana dharma. Tarkika says what? Tarkika says all of these are what? They are not anatma dharma, ahankara dharma, they are atma dharma. So this ichha, jnana, prayatna, all of these are in atma, says the Tarkikas. Now, Siddhanti has said all of these are in antakarana. The Purvamamsak or any other Purva Pakshi who accepts that, he says, okay, all these emotions you can talk about as ichha, jnana, in all other emotions, let them be in the anatma, and in atma they are adhyastha. They are superimposed on oneself as one's own guna because of dharma adhyasa. The antakarana dharma is superimposed on oneself. Like what? Like the jada sharira dharma. Krushoham, gauravam, ityadi. All the kriyas in are also superimposed. Bhagavan Bhashyakara gives an entire list of Stula Dharma, Antakarana Dharma, Buddhi Dharma, Ityadi, all of this in Adhyasa Bhashya. Kriyas also. Langayami, Gachami, Ityadi, Shrunomi, you can add in Shravana also. So all of these are superimposed on Atma. Jada Sharira is going to die someday. Janma is there. That Janma, the Shadvikara are superimposed on myself. I was born. No, I have grown so much. I have changed so much. I'm stagnant. I'm going to die someday. All of these ideas are these Stula Sharira dharmas which are superimposed on oneself. So this is an adhyasa. So here adhyasat aham pratyasya atmadharmatvam, similarly, like all of the others which can be generally accepted, those are superimposed on atma, all right, meaning I take myself to have these dharmas, but aham pratyaya also is superimposed on the atma, meaning aham pratyaya is in antakarana ahankara, and I consider myself as having this ahankara. Tattu vastavam iti upapannam, says the Purvapakshi. This is the Siddhanta's perspective. Purvapakshi may be quoting, you can say, or Siddhanti has concluded and then Purvapakshi says Tattu. Tattu, this kind of an idea, this kind of a darshana idea, Vedanta's idea is Tattu vastavam. What is that? Aham pratyaya. Where it tat has been mentioned. So Napunsaka, Tattu means what? We have to say aham pratyasya atma dharmatvam vastavam, not adhyasa. Napunsaka is there, so you can say atma dharmatvam. Tasya aham pratyasya, the entire thing. Aham pratyasya atma dharmatvam adhyasat, says the adhyasat means what? Adhyastam, you can say. Adhyastam, says the Siddhanti. Purvapakshi says na, vastavam iti upapannam. It is tenable that it is vastava. Meaning what? Mamatva yatna ichhadi, let them be anatma dharma and adhyastha in atma. But aham pratyaya, there I have to disagree. He says, here I'll put my foot down. I don't agree this is the case. Why? Aham pratyasya atma dharmatva prasiddhehe. Because aham, the very aham means atma. It is well known. When you say aham means that I is really me. It is well known. Not only that, he says in Vedanta also, even a Vedanti will say, even a Vedanti who does not have clarity, he may also agree, oh, true, what he is saying makes sense, because finally I'll say aham brahmasmi. So aham is atma. If it is not atma, then how can aham brahmasmi work? Aham brahmasmi iti vidyadashayam api tasya anuvartanad. Because this aham continues in vidya also, meaning jnani also has this aham. With aham brahmasmi, when the jnana takes place, and after jnana also this aham continues. That aham has to be atma. It has to be atma dharma. It cannot be anatma dharma. Otherwise, anatma cannot be called as brahma in aham brahmasmi. That ahankara, which is the antakarana dharma, is brahma. That makes no sense, because aham is used, and aham means the real I. That atma has to be brahma as per the Shruti Vakya also, which you also agree, says the Purvapakshi, aham brahmasmi iti vidya. Iti ya vidya, tasyam vidya dashayam api. He says, during that very moment that the jnana takes place, there are you going to say this ahankara is no longer there? It is no longer there in the sense it is anatma dharma, it remains anatma dharma. So that aham during that vidya dasha also is continuing, and ahankara being there, that itself, we will say ahankara. The word ahankara is not being used for this very purpose, that aham pratyaya, the I notion. The I notion is basically individuality. It's a notion. So it's what is called as ego elsewhere. I prefer the word individuality. I think Puja Swamiji also used to use it. I don't recall, but individuality is a good translation for that. Ahankara is individuality. That is what makes you separate from others. So that I is still there, which is said to be Brahma, says the Purva Pakshi. Therefore, tasya anuvartanat, because it remains, continues to be there. Iti shankam utthapya. Having raised this doubt, shlokena pariharati. With the next 28th verse, Mulakara refutes that. Santu kamam ityadina. So, before the shloka, there is a sambandhukti, we'll see. The Tippana gives some, what are these words there? Mamatva yatna ichhadinam anatma dharmanam yatha atma dharmatvena pratiti bhavati. This is the adhyasa. Although all these dharmas are anatma dharmas, still they appear to be my own dharmas. That is adhyasa. Tathaiva adhyasat. Similarly, due to that kind of an adhyasa, aham pratyaya is also aham pratyasya api atma dharmatvena pratiti bhavati iti bhava. Similarly, aham pratyaya also is seen as my own, although it is anatma dharma, it is seen as my dharma. This is the adhyasa. Purva Pakshi says tu kintu tattu atma dharma is it is not adhyastha, it is vastava, said the Purva Pakshi. So tu kintu, no, that is not right. Tad aham pratyasya atma dharmatvam. So the aham pratyasya atma dharmatvam is tatya. So he is also taken that. That means what? Aham pratyasya atma dharmatvam, napunsaka, which has gone by. That is vastavam means what? Anadhyasikam. It is not adhyasika, it is anadhyasika. Meaning what? Vastava means what? It is not superimposed. It is not like the other dharmas. This aham pratyaya is really there in atma dharma. Iti upapannam iti shanka upanyasa. This is the elaboration of the doubt. Upapattim eva sporayati aham ityadina. Then what is this? Why do you say that it has to be vastava? So Purva Pakshi elaborates that because this continues even in the Vidyadasha. So now let's go to this Sambandhokti Santu Kamam Ityadina. So Mulakara says Santu Kamam Anatma Dharmaha Mamatvadaya. He says only Mamatva, meaning it starts with what? Aham, Mama, Ahantva, Mamatva, then Ichha, Yatna and Ichha, then Adipada. So Purva Pakshi drops that aham. He says, quietly you added aham also. No, mamatva. You should have not started with aham. You should have started with what? Started with mamatva, ichha, mamatva, yatna, ichha, jnana. All of these you can add. All these that you keep on adding in the series, why did you add aham? Aham is different. Just because mamatva is there and you have heard that, ahantva, mamatva, all these, they go together. Here they don't go together. Because here the sandarbha is what is Atma Dharma, what is Anatma Dharma. So ahantva cannot be added there. He says you leave that and then you keep the chain, going on. That is okay. So santu, let it be so. Lot lakara, santu. Like astu we say, so santu bhuvachana. Kamam, santu kamam, anatma dharma, mamatvadeya. He says, here, cha would be good. Kamam, santu kamam. So here, anatma dharma, mamatvadeya. Maybe this is, there are such usages where kamam is used in some kind of an avyaya there. Let me just check up whether was kamam is used anatma dharma. What is the anuvada? 28th. Is there an anuvada there? Let me just see whether there is an avyaya, kamam. There is an avyaya, kamam, yeah. Anumatau. So anumati. That's nice, okay. So anumati. He says santu kamam. I have not heard this prayoga. So santu kamam. Not kama, but kamam is an avyaya, which means what? Except anumati. I'll accept. So he says, Anatma dharma mamatvadayah anatma dharma santu kamam. Meaning, okay, it's okay, I accept. What you said, I agree, let's say. So kamam is in that sense. However, ahankara, aham pratyaya is not so. So to say that, how did he say? He said, santu kamam anatma dharma mamatvadeha yathokta nyaya balat. You have given a lot of tarka to this. Then nyaya, okay, let's say that nyaya is applicable with mamatva, yatna, ichha, ityadi. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha. You can keep on adding all the emotions. However, that logic does not work later in the aham pratyaya also. So anatmataya evacha teshu vyavaharat. Further what? With the mamatwadi, the vyavahara mama is with the sambandha. Mama is used when there is sambandha. It is not raho shiravar shashti here. So it is not abhede shashti. So mama, there you say it is not me. So mama means mine. So when you say mine, it is possible that this mineness is in something else, not in you. Similarly, what yatna? Yatna means, some effort is something else. It cannot rest in me. It is elsewhere. That is also possible. Ichha also elsewhere, I'll agree. But he says, anatmataya eva chateshu vyavahara. There is a prasiddhi. Although Tarkikas may say that jnana ityadi ichha prayatna, these are atma dharma. But still, many others, they talk about these ichha ityadi, they come up and they go, therefore they are not atma dharma, they are anatma dharma. Anatmataya eva teshu vyavaharat. In vyavahara also, many people know that these are not me. Will not say all. Those who have some vichara, those who have anvaya vyatireka, they will know. However, aham rupasya aham pratyasya tu pratyagatma sambanditaya prasiddhehe. However, nobody says I means what? Someone else or something else or something which belongs to something else or someone else. Aham means me, I, the real I. So pratyagatma is known as aham everywhere. So when this prasiddhi is there, how can you use tarka and refute it? See, this is basically what Purva Paksha, maybe another Purva Pakshi, but same Purva Paksha repackaged. What do you call as new and improved? It is not new. Either it is new or it is improved. This is an improved version. It is not new. Because what was said earlier, Mam aham janami, there Mam aham janami, there he said subject and object. So it is again rephrased as aham, that aham is the real me. It has grown from there, of course, but there aham was already accepted as me. And then mam, that mam was what? Aham pratyaya. Now, very nicely, if it has already been said that aham and mam are separate, what is being said now? It is said that aham and mam are same. Siddhanti said aham and mam, their subject and object are working because that mam is different. Different because it is in antakarana. And aham there, that aham is what? Atma, pratyagatma. Now, Purvapakshi says you have already accepted this aham as pratyagatma. Siddhanti says not that pratyagatma, as Sakshi we had said. So that aham pratyaya is not aham. Aham pratyaya is mam there. So, very nicely, Purvapakshi has shifted that aham, mam aham janami is an aham pratyaya. Mam aham janami is an aham pratyaya where aham word is not aham pratyaya. Mam is the part of aham pratyaya. So he's shifting that mam and aham are same. That is what his idea was. Now he's saying that aham that you have used, that is very well known as pratyagatma. You have also used in that sense. Siddhanti can't say no. Because aham there, if mam pratyaya was aham pratyaya, that what is that aham usage? Purvapakshi says aham you have already used in the sense of pratyagatma, it is prasiddha. So Siddhanti's perspective is that aham is not aham pratyaya. This aham pratyasya atmadharmatva prasiddhe, that is not aham pratyaya. So aham brahmasmi, we'll see what aham brahmasmi is. That will also be answered. In aham brahmasmi, you can't take aham as pratyagatma, then sin brahmasmi. Aham, if it is pratyagatma and brahma is Ishvara, it won't work. And brahma is also Shuddha Chaitanya. Aham brahmasmi need not be mentioned. It is giving you nothing. It's a statement of fact, that's all. So how does it benefit me if it says that you, the pratyagatma, is brahma? It is like saying Chaitanya is Chaitanya. That's what it means, because aham in pratyagatma sense means Chaitanya. Brahma in pratyagatma, Brahma in the Nirguna Brahma sense means Chaitanya. So what is the point of saying Chaitanya is Chaitanya? That's what it will amount to, that's what it means really. If the Purva Pakshi says Aham Brahmasmi iti Vidya Dashapi Tasya Anuvartana, that Aham is not the way it is understood. Further what? Further also, the where this Aham Brahmasmi comes, or Tattvamasi Mahavakya, there these are all Sopadika. Bhagatyaga Lakshana is to be used to understand. So Vidya in Vidya Dasha, that Aham will not remain Aham. It is Shodhita Aham. That's why this entire prakriya of Tvampada Shodhana, Parishodhana. So Parishuddhi, when it is there in Aham Pratyaya, and then it lands on not Aham Pratyaya, starting with the Sharira itself. All the Panchakosha Viveka, when it is done, Shariratraya Viveka it is done, then you land with Shuddha Chaitanya, then that equation is resolved. Once the equation is resolved, then you don't need to say, on left side LHS equal to RHS, LHS you have already solved, RHS you have solved, then the value is same. There is no equation there to solve anymore. So you can't say Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi is at the level where the equation has to be solved. That is the Mahavakya. It is an Upadesha. A statement of fact is not an Upadesha there. It has to work on the Shishya to land on the Pratyagatma, which is one without a second, that is equal to Brahma. That is very much Brahma only. So there is Chaitanya is equal to Chaitanya is not something to be solved. Even if we say that the words are different, yes, words are different, but if they are in the same meaning, nobody uses in Samanadikaranya. For example, elsewhere in Shastra, the example is given. What, let's say, Ghata and Kumbha means the same thing. Nobody says Ghata Kumbha. Ghata Kumbha Asti. No one uses that. Ghata Kumbha Asti, what sense does it make? It has no meaning really. There's no Shabda Bodha really. Ghataha Kumbha Asti. Ghata is also pot, Kumbha is also pot. Then Ghata Kumbha Asti, who uses that? So here also Aham Brahmasmi, Chaitanyam Asti makes no sense. Here Asmi is there. So Tattvamasi, there also Tat is Chaitanya and Tam is Chaitanya. If at all you take both as Chaitanya, then Chaitanyam Asti won't work. One of the two has to be different, or both have to be different, and then the doubt, how can it be? Then you can resolve. So based on in the stages, both are not Chaitanya or not only Chaitanya. Then you have some scope to resolve. Or one of them is known as Chaitanya, and then some other Lakshana will help you. So here the Granthakara will talk about it as we go ahead. So here, Santu Kama Anatma Dharma Mamatwade Yathukta Nyayavalat Anatmataya eva Chateshu Vyavaharat. That is okay. But Vyavahara, if you are looking at Prasiddhi, then Aham is in the sense of Pratyagatma. That is also Prasiddha. So he says Aham Rupasyatu Pratyagatma Sambanditaya Prasiddhehe. Due to this reason, you cannot say that Aham Pratyaya belongs to Anatma. It belongs to Atma. Further, what? Aham Brahmasmi iti Shrutescha Anatma Dharmatvam Ayuktam iti Chet. Aham Brahmasmi says the Shruti. And if Aham is Anatma Dharma, then how can it be Brahma? So, from the Purva Pakshi's perspective, it is valid. It is a valid question. Why? Because the Prakriya is not known. iti chet tanna, says the Siddhanti. Siddhanti says no. And then he refutes with the shloka, 28th verse. Aham dharmas tvavinnasched aham brahmeti vakyatah gauroham ityanekanto vakyam tadvyapanetru tat. Aham dharmaha. See, aham pratyaya. See, aham pratyaya. Ahankaraha. Aham dharmaha. Ahamiti bodha. All of these ideas, it's all, all same. It is all, they are all synonyms. So here aham dharma has been given. So aham dharma, meaning aham pratyaya. Aham pratyaya, you can say aham pratyaya is what? It's a dharma. So aham dharma tu abhinnaha chet aham brahma iti. Aham brahma is in quotation there. Aham brahma iti vakyata. So here asmi has to be added. Aham brahma asmi iti vakyata. Gauraha aham iti anekantah vakyam tad vyapanetru tat vakyam tad vyapanetru is a single word. Tad vyapanetru tat vakyam vyapanetru. It will work in both ways because tat is already there. Let's try with the vyasta pada. Otherwise, we'll make it a this thing what samasta pada. Here we'll take it as samasta pada right now because tat is sitting here. Tad vyapanetru tasya vyapanetru would work. So tasya vakyam tasya vyapanetru. That is possible. So we'll see. There's a tippana also. We'll see. So aham dharmaha tu abhinnaha ched. Aham brahma iti vakyata. If it is abhinna means what? Aham and Brahma are same. Chaitanya. That's what it will mean, really. If it is aham and Brahma are aham, not aham means aham dharma here. If aham dharma is atma dharma, pratyagatma dharma, and thereby abhinna with what? Pratyagatma. Guna gunino abedha. So both are meaning what? Aham dharma. If aham is atma dharma, aham dharma is equal to atma dharma, then aham is equal to atma. If that is the case, abhinna, then aham brahma iti vakyata. From this vakya, what do you expect? Aham is pratyagatma, which is Brahma. Because for us it is very clear, pratyagatma is Brahma, meaning really Chaitanya. So then if you say aham dharma is pratyagatma, meaning Brahma, then what is this? What is the role of aham brahma iti vakya? What does it do? Here he says aham brahma, how the vakya works. Gauraha aham iti, meaning I am fair. I look fair. So gauraha iti anekantaha. Anekaha antaha yasya. Many possibilities are there. Inconclusive. Gauraham iti anekanta vakyam. Vakya, this aham brahma asmi iti vakya will become anekantika. All sorts of meanings would be possible. How so? Like Gauraham, he says. Many meanings are possible. Aham brahma, that's why you have so many darshanas. Because people take all this aham as different. Tvam is the most difficult. That's why I'm again saying Tvam is the most difficult. Aham pada is the most difficult here. In Tattvamasi Vakya, Tvam is most difficult because Tvam is to be understood. When someone says you, then I understand as I, me. So when someone says you are Brahma, I don't think that you are Brahma. I think I am Brahma. So the Tvam is heard as Aham. So this Tvam pada is difficult means Aham pada is difficult. When the listener hears it and tries to interpret it, that time that Aham pada is difficult. So Gaurav Aham. Here you to take Brahma Aham is similar to Gaura Aham. So Gaura Aham, what is the meaning here? Iti anekantaha. So look at the tippana there. Anekanta savya vichara. Anekantika savya vichara. There is a dosha. In Tarka, the Hetu has dosha which is called as anekantika dosha. Meaning Vyabhichari. The Hetu is Vyabhichari. Anekantah hetuhu iti bhava. Hetu is vyabhichari. Anekanta means it's a vyabhichari hetu. What is the vyabhichara? When you say Gauraha aham, there is it really, no, like aham brahma? When you say aham brahma, what does it mean? They are in samanadikaranam. So gaura aham, is it really in samanadikaranam? Who is aham here? When you say aham brahma, aham is pratyagatma. So will you say gauraha means what? Pratyagatma is fair. Does it mean that my pratyagatma is fair, yours is dark? Makes no sense. Atma has no such gauratva. Atma is not fair or dark or anything. Oh, but Prakash Rupa, it should be fair, shining very bright. Such things won't work there. So, Siddhanti is asking Purva Pakshi, will you interpret this Gauro Aham in the same manner? You won't. So, there is a Vyabhichara. So, if you say Aham is Prasiddha in the meaning of Pratyagatma, I will ask you in the Gauro Aham, will you apply the same meaning? So there is a Vyabhichara. There you won't apply this meaning. Then why will you say in Aham Brahmasmi, the Aham has to be Pratyagatma? Why should you insist? If the Aham is Pratyagatma in Aham Brahmasmi, then only your objection is valid that it continues in Vidyadasha. And then Aham Pratyaya and Aham Brahma there, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham is Pratyagatma and Aham is Aham Pratyaya. They both are same. If they are same, then Gauraham also you should say. Aham is what? Aham Pratyaya there. And Aham Pratyaya is Pratyagatma as per you. If it is Pratyagatma, then you should say that the Atma Pratyagatma is fair. And this is an Upalakshana. You will say for everything. Wherever Aham is used, all the places you should really say that, what in the Mamatva, Ichha, Prayatna, all of these, everywhere, Krodha, Aham Kruddha. So, yeah, so there, I am angry. So there, Pratyagatma is angry, is it? That Aham Pratyaya and Pratyagatma, if they are same, then you should say, how will it become Anatma Dharma? You have already accepted Anatma Dharma. That will also become Atma Dharma now because they are in Samanadikana as per you. They are in the same meaning, it is Prasiddha. So this is the Vyabhichara. Everywhere else you will see Vyabhichara, so this Prasiddhi won't work. Yes, Aham is Prasiddha in the meaning of Pratyagatma, all right. But just because of that, Aham Pratyaya will not become Pratyagatma. You have to see the context. There are exceptions to the rule. You cannot say everywhere Aham means Pratyagatma. Some places it may mean, but Aham Pratyaya is not Pratyagatma. Aham may be used in the sense of Pratyagatma. Aham may be, Atma word itself may be used in many meanings. Similarly, Aham also will pierce through koshas differently for different people. For some, it will not pierce even the first kosha. They will become Charvakas or Lokayatikas. So what does this Aham mean? If Aham meant Pratyagatma, then why did Shvetaketu need to be taught that, let alone 9 times? Tattvamasi. He had to be taught 9 times. Did he not know? So all these ideas are here in this Vyabhichara. Anekantika Savyabhichara. This is a Nyaya Darshana Sutra. Anekanta hetu iti bhavaha. Anekantika hetu. Hetu is anekantika. That is Savyabhichara hetu. And that is a dosha in Tarka. Meaning your hetu has Vyabhichara somewhere. We have shown the Vyabhichara with one statement. One place, if it does not work, then that Tarka is wrong. You cannot have exceptions in Tarka. You have to, if there is an exception and there is avyapti, exception, whatever you think is an exception to this rule, if there is an exception, then you have to change your Tarka. Your hetu has to change. Something has to change there. Why? Because you have to cover that exception also. You cannot have ativyapti dosha. Ativyapti is a dosha. So there will be avyapti there. In this case, it will be avyapti. Ativyapti, avyapti, and asambhava. These are 3 doshas you have to avoid. So your hetu should be perfect. Should not have any of these 3 doshas. Now here, Vyabhichara, there is an avyapti in that. You are not covering that. Meaning what? Your hetu is wrong. You cannot ever cover that. Your tarka is wrong. Ekasmin ante vidyate hetu iti aikantika. Only it will be conclusive only if it ends, this hetu ends with a single, that end is single. Conclusion is possible. There is a single conclusion. Yes, it works everywhere. That is the conclusion. Viparyayad anekantika. If it does not have a single end, multiple possibilities are there. Even if a second possibility is there, then that tarka is not working. So anekantika. Ubhayanta vyapakatvad ityartha. So iti. Why iti ityartha here? Ubhayanta. So here he is saying anekantik means there are two possibilities now. It can be aham pratyaya also, it can be atma also. So that pratyagatma meaning is not working. Both are not in samanadhikar because in gaurava there is a different end, different conclusion. With gauravam you make a different conclusion, and with aham brahmasmi you make a different conclusion of aham. In both cases, aham is different. Therefore, he says ubhayanta vyapakatvad is the hetu, and therefore your hetu is savyabhichar. सामानाधिकरण करण्यक रूप हेतु साध्यम अभिन्नत्व रूपम व्यभिचरति इति भावः. हेतु साध्यम अभिन्नत्व रूपम व्यभिचरति. So साध्यम, this here what in the context now. अभिन्नत्व रूप is साध्य. अभिन्नत्व, aham pratyaya and pratyagatma are abhinna. This is sadhya. Why? His hetu was what he has used is because prasiddhatvat, or what was his hetu? So here hetu is not samanadikaranya rupa hetu. So he is saying aham brahma asmi. So aham brahma are in samanadikaranya. Aham pada and brahma pada are in samanadikaranya. This hetu is not working. So what is his tarka there? He says yatra yatra samanadikaranam pada samanadikaranam tatra tatra abhinnatvam. यत्र यत्र पदसामानाधिकरण्यम तत्र तत्र पदार्थ अभिन्नत्वम. That's what it means. Abhinnatvam meaning what? Padartha abhinnatvam. So whenever you say, like for example, what? Veeraha Ramaha. Then Veera is also Dashratha Putra. Rama is also Dashratha Putra. So this hetu is not working. Why? In Vyabhichara has been shown here. Savyabhichara hetu. Why? Siddhanti says Tatha Nasti. Why? Gauraham ityatra vyabhicharaha. Gauraham. So Gauraha and Aham both are in Prathama Ekvachanam. Both are in Samanadhikaranim. Pada Samanadhikaranim is there. So do you say that Gaura and Aham are same? If Aham is Pratyagatma. If Aham is Pratyagatma, Pratyagatma is fair. Makes no sense. So this vyabhicharati, this vyapti, there is a vyabhichara in this hetu. Shown here, samanadhikaranya, yatra yatra samanadhikaranyam, pada samanadhikaranyam, tatra tatra, padartha abhinnatvam is not working. Okay, I hope it is clear. Further what? 28th verse. Tika. गौरहम इति सामानाधिकरण्यपि यथा गौरत्वेन आत्मधर्मत्वम. प्रत्यगात्मधर्मत्वम नास्ति. गौरहम सामानाधिकरण is there. Gaura and aham are in pada samanadhikaranim. So in samanadhikaranyapi, even if they are in samanadhikaranyam, still what? Yatha api yatha gaurattvena atmadharmatvam. Atmadharma, Gaura is not atmadharma. Gauratva is not Atmadharma. Meaning, Gauratva Atmadharmatva Nasti means, if you literally translate it, this Atmadharmatva is not there in Gauratva. Meaning what? Gaura is not in, basically, Atmadharma it is not. Meaning, Gauratva is not in Atma. Similarly, what? No, Atmadharmatvam siddhyati. Gauratve Atmadharmatvam na siddhyati. With respect to Gauratva, Vishaya Saptami you take. Vishaya Saptami, Atmadharvatva siddhyati means what? Gauratva is not in Atma, it is in Anatma, Antakarana. Not, sorry, Antakarana, in Sharira, Stula Sharira. Stula Sharira has fairness. Not the, so with this Stula Sharira example, it is being shown. There is a Vibhichara there. Aham is used there. Gaura aham. Na siddhyati. Aham brahmasmi iti. Yatha na siddhyati. Tatha aham brahmasmi iti tu. So yatha is given. Tatha has not been used. So tatha you have to understand. Tatha here also. The aham pratyaya is not Atma Dharma. So here aham brahmasmi, how does it work then? Aham brahmasmi iti tu samanadikaranam badhayam. Badhayam. So there are two ways to take aham brahmasmi. I had explained earlier, Bada Samanadikaranam and Mukhya Samanadikaranam. There are four. We'll just take two here. So in the Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, everything is Brahma. This is not taught in the beginning because it can be misunderstood. It is taught at the end. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Meaning what? Sarvam Nasti. Brahma eva asti, and that Brahma is me. Aham Brahmasmi. Then Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma means Sarvam Khalvidam Aham. I am not everything. Everything is not me. Really. See, Mukhya Samanadikaran is only when you can use it both ways. Sarvam Brahma, Brahma Sarvam. That is not the case. Sarvam Brahma is all right. Brahma Sarvam is not right. Sarvam Brahma means what? Sarvam Brahma Badhayam. When every Nama Rupa is taken away, then what remains is Satchidananda. That is actually Brahma. So Badhayam Samanadikaranam. Now Mukhya Samanadikaranam works both ways. Aham Brahma, Brahma Aham. However, some people, meaning here, meaning in Sampradaya, there are two interpretations, two ways it is done. Aham Brahma, there when the Jivatvat goes away in Aham, then it is really a statement of fact. So it's Chaitanya only. Pratyagatma is non-different from that. Vyashti, Samashti, without any Upadhi, Vyashti Upadhi, Samashti Upadhi, it's one and the same. So same entity, Mukhya Samanadikaranam means same entity. It is same entity. Sarva and Brahma is not same entity. Now when you take Aham, what is Aham understood as? Aham is taken as Panchakosha Sambadha Aham. One of the Panchakosha Anyatara Sambadha Aham. If there is any Sambandha, there is rather Tadatmya Sambandha with any of the Koshas, then that Aham means different from Pratyagatma. Pratyagatma plus something else. So when you say it is Brahma, you have to do Badha. And here, Brahma means what? Ishvara. Brahma means Ishvara, Saguna Brahma. Even if it meant Nirguna Brahma, still you have to work. You'll have to do Badha on the left side also, Aham side also, Tvam also. So Tvam Aham Pada, there you have to do Badha. After doing Badha, if Aham is taken as Jiva, Jiva means Jivatva Bhava. So Jivatvam, Jiva Bhava, Jivatvam. Jivatvam Nasti. Samsari Jivatvam Nasti. That is the Badha. And then what remains is Shuddha Chaitanya. So Alpatvam Nasti. All the Alpatvam, Alpajñatvam Nasti. All what we think of, Samsari Dharmas, all of those have to be removed. Bhagatyaga Lakshana basically. Here Bhagatyaga, just like you say, Nama Rupa is Prapancha, Nama Rupa Nasti. If we take ourselves as Sharira only, then it is only Badha. You have to do Badha. It is none of those. What remains is Shuddha Chaitanya then. So here, that Aham Brahmasmi iti tu Samanadikaranam Badhayam. Unlike Gauravaham. In Gauravaham, there is no Badha because Aham is already taken as the Sharira. The Sharira is fair means I am fair because I think myself as Sharira. See, we can say that I don't think myself as Sharira. We are not that dull. But considering ourselves as human being, man, woman, what does it mean? It means Sharira only. The Antakarana does not have this although we say, he does not have any karuna, or whatever the Manushya Dharma, if we think that, Antakarana does not have linga, really. The moderners may think, I think that I am this, therefore I'm a man or a woman. All the, the rainbows colors that go on with, all sorts of genders they think of in modernity. In fact, this is an issue that will come up further for the dharmikas also. Dharmikas, which who think themselves as, they say that I am Brahmanadi, any of these. Why? Because guna and karma. Based on guna and karma, guna, if you take guna, based on guna, if the varna changes, then based on guna, the Purva Pakshi, the modern Purva Pakshi will say, if it is not said, the modern Purva Pakshi will definitely say, if I think I am a man, then in a woman's body, let me be a man. In a man's body, let me be a woman also. This is the new age corruption, right? So the way Vedanta has become Neo Vedanta, Dharma has become, free to interpretation by anyone. Varna can also change based on, thinking. Guna. Guna will lead to thinking, right? So if based on that Varna changes, then let the gender also change based on thinking. What is the answer to that? I mean, nobody can answer this. These moderners, Neo Vedantis can't answer this. We can answer it. Why? Because the Antakarana Dharma and Stula Sharira Dharma, they are different. Similarly, Pratyagatma Dharma is also different. You have to see at which kosha level what dharmas are applicable. So Gauravaham is not in the Antakarana. Gauravaham is with the Sharira Sambandha, Stula Sharira Sambandha. Varna is for the Stula Sharira, the Gaura Ityadi, Krushaham Ityadi, or Pinoaham. All of these are what? Those are Stula Sharira Dharma. Antakarana Dharmas are different. Sukha Dukha, Kama Krodha, Lova, Moha Ityadi, Ichha Prayatna, Yatna, all this Mamatva, Ahamtva also. Ahamtva also. So here, Aham Brahmasmi iti tu, that will not work because that example itself is, Vimata, not Sammata. You have to give me an example where I also agree. Just like this is so, that is also so. If you say, if I have to agree with this first, that example is not working. Aham Brahmasmi is not the way you think it is. Aham is Aham Pratyaya, all right. It is not Pratyagatma. Aham Pratyaya should be taken to Pratyagatma. Aham in the meaning of Aham Pratyaya or in the meaning of Stula Sharira, it can go all the way till Gauna also. Gauna Atma also. So whatever you think yourself as Aham is not the real Aham. So you keep on removing. While keeping the Aham Pratyaya, Pratyagatmatvam in Aham will not work. So you have to keep on dropping. So that is the Badha. So Aham Brahmasmi iti tu Samanadikarana Badha. Here only one aspect is seen, okay? Brahma is not being talked about because the question is on Aham. So Brahma is not discussed here. What is the meaning of Brahma? There the meaning of Brahma, if it is Ishvara, there also Tat Padartha has to be understood. Ishvara, but then there you have to do Bhagatyaga and hold on to the Chaitanya meaning there. But that is not discussed here because the focus is on Aham. This Aham, if it means Stula Sharira, then that Kosha, Annamaya Kosha has to be removed. Badha of that, then you hold on to Pranamaya. Pranamaya Atma, now Pranamaya is no longer Atma. Why? Because there is Anyantara Atma. What? Manomaya. So Manomaya is Atma, Pranamaya becomes Kosha. So on, if you keep on doing Vijnanamaya there, you lead on to Vijnanamaya as the meaning of Aham. That is Aham Pratyaya. So Aham Pratyaya is also further within. Then there is Anandamaya Kosha and then there is Pratyagatma. That Pratyagatma now cannot become Kosha. There is nothing else to remove there. If you keep on removing, it will all become what? That like Mam Aham Janami. The Aham will become Mam there. So Aham, as soon as you try to objectify Pratyagatma Aham, it will become Mam as an object. It will become Ahankara. It will get connected with Ahankara, you will objectify it. You will never objectify Pratyagatma. Pratyegatma is a sakshi to everything, never a subject also really. So here, aham brahmasmiti tu samanadikaram badhayam satyam. Sati saptami. Badhayam eva. Only when every other meaning of aham is removed, then only pratyegatma will remain, na puna, then only samanadikaram. Otherwise, it is not Brahma. As it is, Jiva will not become Brahma. न पुनः तद एकत्व विवक्षया इत्यर्थः एकत्व विवक्षया नास्ति the samanadikaranam only with badha not ekatva with the aham pratyaya or stula sharira whatever it is Purva Pakshi is saying I am not even talking about stula sharira I am talking about aham pratyaya I know that vijnanamaya kosha paryantam which vichara asti so he says that I can't go further because I am very clear that this aham pratyaya vijnanamaya kosha what you call as vijnanamaya kosha is atma only it is not anything else. So he is insisting that aham pratyaya is atma means vijnanamaya kosha sambandha as per the Siddhanti. So Siddhanti says na punah tarekatva vivakshaya that aham pratyaya vijnanamaya kosha is not atma, not pratyagatma. You have to do badha of that also. Then only you will land on anandamaya kosha and then you have to do badha also of that. But anandamaya kosha badha is very subtle cognitive. It is at a very subtle level cognitive because in Shushupti you look at that Swarupa and they say then cognitively refute that also that is not my real Swarupa. Why? Because Ajnana is sitting there. No other reason. Ajnana is sitting there although there is no individuality in Bija Rupa it is there. So that is also not me. That Ananda is just a glimpse. It is not Brahmananda really. All Ananda is Brahmananda but it is not complete Brahmananda. This meaning Brahmananda does not manifest completely there in Shushupti also. Because Ajnana Avarana is there. Although there is no segmentation, still you can say very close, but not that. That's why Samadhi Ananda you say. Samadhi Ananda is Brahmananda. Yes, but again very close. Why? Because Ajnana comes back. So this is the 28th verse. It is written as 8. So Ekatva Vivakshaya Samanadikaranam Nasti Tatra. Badhayameva Samanadikaranam. उक्तैवार्थः दृष्टान्तेन उपपाद्यते इति आह कथं तद्वाक्यम् इति. So same idea is established with an example. Katham tadvakyam. Katham tadvakyam tad vyapanyetru tatu. We have not seen the this thing. So here aham dharmah tu abhinnaschet as it is. Then aham brahmeti vakyatah or we'll say aham brahmeti vakyatah aham dharma tu abhinnah ched. That way you can do an meaning entire Purva Paksha there. If at all with aham brahma iti vakya, that is vakyata hetu. So you'll say aham brahma iti vakyata hetu aham dharma tu abhinnah chet iti chet. If at all you have concluded based on your hetu that aham brahma iti vakya shows samanadikaran between aham pratyaya and pratyagatma in the same meaning aham continues vidya dasha if that is your hetu then Siddhanti says gauravam iti aikantah syat you can say and vakyam what finally what vakyam tad vyapanetru tat vakyam tatvakyam the same aham brahma iti tadvakyam tasya vyapanetru tasya kasya aham iti pratyasya vyapanetru badhayam vyapanetru it takes away refute meaning does badha vyapanetru means badhaka ityartha in napunsakalinga vyapanetru satru because tat and vakyam are in napunsakalinga tadvakyam aham brahmasmiti tadvakyam mahavakyam any mahavakya is what tad vyapanetru tasya jiva bhavasya that aham pratyasya vyapanetru so badhayam samanadikaranam. Without the tika, you can't make sense of the verse. That's why we did an anvaya after the tika. Clear? So, ukta evartha drishtantena upapadyate iti aha. The same idea is elaborated with the with an example. So, katham vakyam tad vyapanetru tat iti. How do you say this? That sentence is doing badha is badaka of the aham pratyaya. How do you say that? Aham pratyaya badaka means what? Tadatmya with aham pratyaya, ahankara. There is a tadatmya with aham pratyaya that I am this. With the antakarana dharmi, there is dharmi tadatmya. And with the dharma, aham pratyaya, there is a dharma tadatmya. Meaning it is my dharma. I am this. I am this individual. Whatever I think myself as. This is the tadatmya which is badhita by the Mahavakya. So katham tadvakyam is. So there's nothing much in Tika to say. So 29th verse, Uchyate. Siddhanti takes this Purva Paksha and counters it with an example in 29th verse. Yoyam sthanuh puman eshaha pumdhiya sthanu dhiriva brahmasmiti dhiya shesha yaham buddhir nivartyate asheshaha. So brahmasmi iti dhiya asheshaha. So there is a visarga here. Yaha ayam sthanuhu puman eshaha pumdhiya. Pumdhiya is pum with a pumdhi. With a buddhya. Puman means pum. So same meaning. Pum is also used puman. So like pullinga. Pumlinga, pullinga. So pumdhi, pum iti dhi. So pum iti dhi, pumdhi, taya pumdhiya. With the notion that it is this stanu post is what? Man. A human being. Some guy there. Stanu dhihi iva. Brahma asmi iti dhiya asheshaha hi aham buddhi. Single word, aham buddhi. Aham buddhi means what? Aham pratyaya. Aham buddhi, aham pratyaya, aham bodha. So many words can be used. Simply aham also. Nivartyate. Karmani prayoga. Nivartyate. So example is what? Very prasiddha example. You all know this. Yaha ayam sthanuhu puman. Esha pumdhya sthanudhi iva. Sthanudhi nivartyate. Esha puman ayam sthanu is puman. So this sthanu is this man. It can be taken both ways. Generally, how it is seen? See here, sthanudhi iva, because sthanudhi has been used. So sthanudhi nivartyate. So this example is not not the way mostly we understand. So both ways it can be understood. See, Rajju can be seen as Sarpa. So can Sarpas be seen as Rajju? Elsewhere, in some Mangalacharana somewhere, I don't remember. Maybe Vidyanacharya's Grantha or some Grantha, I remember. The example, not Mangalacharana, in example, somewhere this Sarpa is taken as Rajju. Perhaps in Viveka Chudamani Tika, I don't remember. I think Viveka Chudamani Tika, Bhagwan Chandrasekhar Bharati Mahaswamiji. So he gives an example not of Rajju as Sarpa. See, if you see Rajju as Sarpa, what is the most harm that will happen? You will run away. There is fear. What else will happen? But if you take Sarpa as Rajju and you need Rajju, God help you. So this entire thing, so he uses that example. He says, see, you need a rope. Okay. So you picked some rope and didn't look at it, but it happened to be Sarpa. What will happen? This is the status of the human being today. So we are taking Sarpa as Rajju and, rejoicing. Instead of Atmarati, so instead of Rajjurati, Sarparati. Instead of Atmarati, what? We are Anatmarati. So very nice way to look at it. Here also what? Sthanu Puman, you will run away if you take Sthanu as Puman. Meaning you take the post or a dried stump of a tree or something, or the dried tree with you see branches like standing like a human being. You take it as a human being. You think that chaura. So there chaura is said. So you think that a thief is somewhere he's coming to harm you or to steal something. So you run away, scared. But other way around, you treat a human being has, you see something, you want to throw stones, just, let's target practice or something. You can't be doing that. So thinking that there is a dry tree and let's see, children play, they'll throw stones and see who can hit it or something. It happens to be a human being. So here that is the example as to pumdhiya. When somebody tells you, hey, why are you throwing stones? Hey, it is a tree, we are just throwing. No, it's not a tree. Ayam stanu, yaha ayam stanu that you are seeing, that is not a tree. Pumanesha. It's some guy there standing there. He's just or sitting there meditating, whatever, don't throw stones. So Pumbhiya Stanudhi Iva, like this with we made a mistake. So Pumbhiya with the Pum Buddhi, how Stanudhi Nivartyate. Similarly, Brahmasmiti Diya. Hey, you are not Jada, you are not. So why this example again? Pumbhiya Stanu, Pum is Chaitanya. Stanu is what? Jada. So Ajada Buddhi with Ajada Buddhi is taken away with Ajada Buddhi, Jada Buddhi is taken away. Chaitanya Buddhi, Achetana Buddhi goes away. In the example, it is like that. So that's why he has used it in this manner. It appears to be so. So Brahmasmi iti dhiya, thinking that I am Jada, I am this Sharira which is going to die away someday, had Janma, all these, Vikaras in the Sharira, that is all Jada. With the Chaitanya Buddhi, no, I am Brahma Chaitanya. I am not any of this Jada Padartha Anatma. With that also, Aham Pratyaya also goes away. So Brahma Asmi iti dhiya Ashesha, this Aham Buddhi, sorry, this is not Bahuvachana, Aham Buddhi, I made a mistake. Ashesha is a singular, okay? So Padacheda is Dhiya Ashesha. In chanting, I thought I made a mistake, but I was right in chanting. But while explaining I said is Asheshaha. But Aham Buddhi is in singular. So Ashesha Aham Buddhi. So Aham Buddhi Ashesha means Aham Buddhi can go all the way. It can, that Aham, I notion can be in anything. In the Stula Sharira, in any of the koshas. So we'll take Ashesha. Ashesha does not need to be Bahuvachana, because we'll say it is Bahuri. You can make it in this thing also. In Jatav Ekvachana, you can make it as what covering all sorts of Aham Buddhi. So Aham Buddhi, Aham Pratyaya, wherever it is, Nivartyate. The Ahankara also goes away finally. So although Aham Buddhi here means Ahankara, we can take additional meaning that anywhere that Aham is there, whatever it means, other than Pratyagatma, all of that goes away. So only after Badha, Nivartyate means after Badha, only then this Samanadhikaran will work. Otherwise, this Aham Brahmasmi Samanadhikaran does not work. So with an example it is shown. There is a tippana. We'll quickly look at it. Stanuhu Purusha iti Samanadhikaranim yatha. Stanuhu Badakam. So here, I am Stanuhu Esha Purusha. It is this person. When you say, then Samanadhikaranim, how does that Samanadhikaran work? Can it be a tree as well as Jada tree as well as this Purusha, Chaitanya? Can it be Chaitanya Purusha? The tree is not a man. When you say the tree, this tree is a man, what does it mean? It means there is no tree, there is a man. That's what it means. It is by Badha only. So this is also Savyabhichara, meaning here also this is a Vyabhichara example as well. Just like Gauravaham, Stanu Purusha, there also there is a, this is also in that koti of Vyabhichara. Gauravaham is a Upalakshana. Here Stanu Purusha also there is a Samanadhikaranam. Will the Purvapakshi agree that the tree is man? When you say the tree is man, there is no tree, there is a man. So Yatha Stanoho Badakam. It will take away the idea of the tree and Aham Brahmasmi iti Samanadhikaranyam Ahankarasya Badakam ityartha. Tatha what? Aham Brahmasmi. Similarly what? Aham Brahmasmi, when you say, then it is Aham. Aham is Ahankara. Ahankara Paryanta, if you have got it, then you have brought your journey. You have come till Aham Brahma, means what? Aham is there, Ahankara. Then Ahankarasya Badakam Syat. So Samanadhikaranam, what does it do? It's not Mukhya Samanadhikaranam there. Badhayam Samanadhikaranam. It will take away the idea of I notion with Ahankara. Then what remains is, after the Ahankara, what remains is one who is doing this Nirakarana. and that is Chaitanya. Finally, the Chaitanya. Same entity is now what? Is no longer Ahankara, it is Chaitanya. Badakam ityartha. So this completes the 29th verse. We'll look at more in the next part. यत् साक्षात् सच्चिदानंदं प्रत्यगद्वयमक्रियं तन्न नमामि नृस्यस्य योगी गम्यं परम पदम. नमस्ते. धन्यवाद.